Hey guys, couple minutes early. It's 5:08 according to my clock. My desktop clock is fast, um, but my cell phone here, pretty much on the money. I see our friend Night Watcher is here on his main account, Night Watcher of Batteries and Fire. So, um, our friend UK Medic is up and live. So I have him up. I stopped in, I said hi, and now we'll keep him up and running. Maybe every once in a while pop in. Night Watcher says, finally. Yeah, I'm a little early. So, let's see what else is going on the YouTubes. I got our friend Dagmeyer up, and I want to bring up another video for Ivy. I had our friend Runner Boy up and running before. Night Watcher says, I literally almost fell asleep while waiting. Like, I'm half asleep. 3 a.m. Wow. What are you doing up at 3 a.m.? You have school tomorrow? Seeing if anyone else is live besides our friend UK Medic. I haven't seen much of Noble in the evening lately. I see him real early in the morning for me. Usually like between 4 and 5, which is what, it's a 3-hour difference from the East Coast to the West Coast. Or is it 4 hours? I think it's 3. So even then, it's pretty late for him. If you figure 5 o'clock here, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm still checking around. I just figure if there's someone live, I always feel bad if I'm live and we got a friend who is live. Uh, just a matter of poor timing. So what I normally do is go over and say hi, and I let people know that they're live, our friend UK Medic, and that way people can go over. I'll tell you something, there's absolutely no hurt feelings whatsoever if people do that. There's enough support to go around for everyone, and UK's a very entertaining guy. All you guys. Noble's a very entertaining guy. So there's no reason why I wouldn't want that support for any of our friends. Oh, I forgot about that. Night Watcher says no, in Islamic countries like Bangladesh, friends are Fridays are week off, and Sunday is weekday, because in Islam, Friday is a holy day, and Saturday is a government country-wide day off. You explained that to me once before, and I remember it from before as well, but it slipped my mind right now. Duncan Walsh is here. It's early for Duncan Walsh. I think Duncan Walsh came in specifically early because he might have something evil that he's plotting. Hey, you know what? I was cruising around YouTube, or as our friend Destiny likes to say, I was cruising the, sorry, I started laughing, Duncan Walsh and his innocent routine. I don't buy it for a second. Eric Lapointe is here. Eric Lapointe is here. So, yeah, as our friend Destiny likes to say, the YouTube streets. I was cruising around the YouTube streets, and I had a couple surprises. One, finding Duncan Walsh on our friend Dottie's channel. I absolutely love that. I just love seeing that connection with you guys. Charlie 559 is here. Charlie, how are you? And my other great surprise is beautiful videos, beautiful shorts from our friend Eric Lapointe with replies already from, sorry guys, I'm bringing something up, with replies already from Destiny. All of that made me very happy. Night Watcher says, Duncan Walsh, fitness motivation, Mr. Yep, Mr. It's a nice sign of respect. Charlie says he's doing good. Awesome. Let's see. So have you guys visited Eric Lapointe? I mentioned this morning that I was looking forward to when he put stuff out, because he was talking about it, not as yet realizing that he already had. I'm looking at some of the comments now. I see, again, I saw earlier that Dottie was there, and now I see that our friend Vincent, Horror of Spice. I got the opportunity to spend some time on Vincent's channel. Boy, he has some really, he's got a great taste in older movies. And he'll pick out a hot sauce for you as well. My days of hot sauce are over. But I did like him back in the past. I got to say that I see Duncan was on Eric Lapointe's channel, checking out the frog, which it took me, I'll be honest, it took me a second. When I first looked at it, that first instant, that's a excellently camouflaged frog. Charlie says, got any questions today? I'm actually on my way over. Excuse me.
Right, I've put a bit more insulation in there.
That's our friend.
Need battening off, and some more insulation shoved in it.
1 second,
and
guys.
then that is going to be tongue and grooved.
That is our friend Dottie. I'm actually on my way over to check out Charlie's channel. So Charlie has 19 subscribers. Need to share him out. get a few more subscribers heading in that direction. Night Watcher says, "Hey Yogi, can you help me with some mechanical pencil related stud? STUDD? I don't know what STUDD is, and yeah, I probably can't help you with a mechanical pencil. Man, saying mechanical pencil reminds me of my father, because he used them all the time. But maybe someone here can. And Eric says, yes, I have a lot to learn the shorts, but love the support from everyone. Man, I thought they were excellent. Absolutely loved them. And again, what I especially like is that we just got people from the chat going there and supporting each other. Charlie says, thanks. You know what, Charlie, I do have a question for you. I think I asked this last night, but I don't remember the answer. I know you told me that you played lacrosse as well as some basketball. Are you going to try out for anything next year in high school? Charlie says, I had 21 subs, but then I went down. Yeah, that happens all the time. Never take it as a reflection on you or what you're putting out, because you just never know why it might be. Some people might shut down their accounts. For some, I know for some of mine, they weren't real accounts. So, you know, you don't really lose anything. Nothing that matters is ever really lost. Speaking of big numbers, our friend Laradox is here. Laradox, the last I checked, was that 400 even? How are we doing now? We're going to find out. One of the things I love about having my desktop is I get to click. I see Laradox has a new video. Car crashes. Says if you're a wimpy, do not watch these car crashes. I got to admit, man, I'm pretty wimpy. I'm a unapologetic wimp when it comes to stuff like car crashes. I won't watch a movie if I know or I hear something's going to happen to a dog, any animal, or an older person. So yeah, I'm definitely a wimp. And our friend Laradox is now at 402 subscribers. We're going to get him up to 500 soon. I think once Mayhem starts going live again and Laradox has a chance to jump in, he'll be up in a week's time. I'd be willing to bet he'll be up to 500. Charlie says, and yes, I will play next year. I will play lacrosse and basketball. Awesome. Both are such fast-moving sports. You going to train for the summer? Nightwatcher says, Yogi, I'll teach you to set up Nightbot. Just try it. It's been suggested. Don't you have to pay for it? I'm not cheap, but I don't have a lot of money. I'm waiting to be financially stable via YouTube, and I am told that very few people are ever financially stable via social media. However, I'm in a unique position in my life. I don't need a whole lot. A couple $100 a month, and I'm good, actually. I got a house that's paid for. I got a car that's paid for. I eat produce and lentils and whole grains, fruits, none of which are very expensive, although I do like buying specifically certain fruits and vegetables, organic. If you've all ever seen the list of the Dirty Dozen, I should look that up. Laradox says, Yogi, could you drop my link? I can't. Unless our friend Nightwatcher knows how to do it. Because I don't know how. I would, but I don't know how. But if anyone comes in later this evening that does that, I will certainly ask them to do it. As you know, I have no trouble. I have no trouble with links being dropped. Nightwatcher says, you say that while being an elder. That's a very big contradiction. Which part is a contradiction? And are you saying elder, or are you saying old? Both of them might be correct. I'm probably more old than I am an elder. I'm actually Generation X. I'm top of the, or is it the bottom, of that curve. I just made it. I skipped over the baby boomers. Nothing the matter with the baby boomers. So which part is a contradiction? That I don't have a lot of money? That certainly isn't a contradiction. Nightwatcher says, no, it's free. Reaper says, what do you think about the beef between Drake and Kendrick? Personally, if they were both vegetarians, there'd be no beef between the two of them. They could bury the hatchet and a bucket of rice and a bag of lentils. And the beef itself would live a perfectly peaceful, happy life. But believe it or not, Reaper, I've actually heard that they were feuding. I think it might have been on Saturday Night Live. I watched the clip. I don't know what they're feuding about. I can tell you with certainty, I can tell you with 100% certainty, they're feuding about absolutely nothing of importance. No matter who's right or who's wrong, the world's going to continue much the way it does. Laradox says, okay, it's fine. But hopefully we'll get it dropped sometime. Ah, see, Nightwatcher. There's a reason why Nightwatcher earned his blue wrench. Because he's a good friend and he knows how to do stuff. And as an elder, all right, seriously, as an old guy, I don't know how to do that stuff. Here's the fun thing, man. I earned that place in life to say, hey, I'm old. I don't know how to do stuff. I know how to do a lot of practical stuff. I can run 100 miles. Well, I got to train for it, but I have run 100 miles. That's pretty practical. If I ever need to run, and whatever I need to run towards or away from, 100 miles is that safe distance. To be honest, the way my back feels these days, I don't know if I'm ever going to do any racing again. I mean, I could. I just don't know how it would leave me afterwards. So, sorry, guys. You see, I blinked out. Hit the wrong button. So we have Laradox's channel. Please subscribe and give him watch hours. Definitely subscribe. And the watch hours. Laradox comes in. He has some good words for everyone. He's proven to be a really good friend. Definitely support him. Nightwatcher says, I'm not very tech savvy, even though I'm in the middle of Gen Z. and Gen Alpha, my brain goes, when does Gen Z? Gen Z is right after the millennials, right? And then you have Gen Alpha. You don't know my generations. My father was part of the silent generation. The silent generation is a very powerful um, generation. They flew under the radar. But you know what? A lot of the people in the silent generation shaped the modern music that we love. The Beatles were not baby boomers, they were in the silent generation. Um, Hopefully, we have some Beatle fans here. Dr. Martin Luther King. People think the baby boomers and civil rights. The civil rights movement took place during the baby boomer generation, but it was the silent generation that put in the work. Dr. Martin Luther King himself was of the silent generation, as were all of the great civil rights leaders. I'm not saying that the children of that were baby boomers at the time, um, the baby boomers themselves, didn't march and didn't participate. They certainly protested against the Vietnam War. Um, of course, they also had a marked interest in shutting down the Vietnam War. So I went off on a tangent. I'm not very tech savvy, even though in the middle of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, my brain does not comprehend more than intermediate web surfing. I'm with you on that. And even the intermediate web surfing is beyond me in some cases. Nightwatcher says, so don't think of me as an all smart tech person. You got it. I do think of you as a smart person, though. Theradox says, yes, sub. And Yogi, could I have the honor of getting the blue wrench? Use it wisely, my friend. So I have certain rules with the blue wrench. No running with the blue wrench. You don't want to put your eye out. No smacking people with the blue wrench. Put the blue wrench away when you're done with it, in its proper place, of course. What other rules can I make up off the top of my head? You guys can throw some out if you have some blue wrench rules. It's a good thing that the beef between Drake and who was it? Kendrick Lamar. It's a good thing that they don't have blue wrenches. Who knows what kind of beatdown would happen between those two. So here's one good thing with the blue wrench is it does make it easier for people to connect. And that's the important thing. So if people come in here with good faith, if they've proven to be a good friend, if they haven't been at all disruptive, and I'll be honest with you, very few people I've had in here have ever been disrupted. A few people. And in those cases, the ones with the wrench have proven to be invaluable in helping to keep everything quiet. As a matter of fact, in some of the cases, I didn't even know something was going on. I was so busy flapping my gums with a. That's an old person. That's an elder statement for you guys. Flapping my gums. That I didn't even know there was an issue going on because people like Nightwatcher took care of it, handled it purposefully, and professionally. Paradox says, could you tell everyone to press my blue wrench and subscribe to my YouTube channel? I certainly can. Let's see how the conversation unfolds. If anyone's coming in now, guys, if you click on the blue wrench for Laradox, you can subscribe to his channel. And his channel is a lot of fun. this is someone who just, I get the impression that Paradox just wants you to have fun. He wants you to come to his channel. He's going to entertain you. He's going to make you smile. It's a pretty important thing. These are some hard times that we live in right now. Every time's been a hard time. But certainly the present is. I think a lot of us were still coming to terms that we came through and survived a major pandemic. Whatever your view on the pandemic it was a tough time on our country. Economically, physically, I was critical caregiver for my 90-plus-year-old father, who could not. He had congestive heart failure. He couldn't afford to get sick, so I had to shut down. I lost my business, such as it was, but yeah, I made a vow that my father would not die of COVID. He wasn't going to die in a hospital, suffering and isolated from people. And although he did pass away just after that time, it wasn't from COVID, and he didn't suffer greatly, and he was at home when he did, and I was with him and I was holding his hand. Paradox says, yes, everyone, sorry I'm being selfish, but please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Not selfish at all. You have a goal and you want to achieve it, and asking for help, asking for support is the complete opposite of being selfish. You're not manipulating anyone. You're not trying to get anything that you don't feel that you deserve. Go visit Laradox. See if you like his channel. I think you will. And if so, subscribe. And as Nightwatcher said, give him some watch hours. At the same time, always make sure when you ask for support, you give support back. That you're supporting those who have been there for you. Nightwatcher says, silent generation, people born between before WW2 or 1945. Boomers, people born before 65. Gen X, people born before 81. Millennials, one born before 97. Gen Z, someone born before 210. And Gen Alpha, someone born after 210. Ah, got it. As I said, I'm Gen X. First part of the Gen X. I set the tone for everyone. It was me, and then everyone just followed along. Again, much respect and admiration for the silent generation, for what they did socially. My father, born in 1927, again, he was silent generation, but he did serve in World War II. He would have served in Korea, but he got a student deferment, which they gladly gave him because he did serve in the South Pacific on a minesweeper in World War II. And then by the time he just wanted to finish his degree. By the time he finished his degree, the Korean War was over. Zeradox says, Nightwatcher, I subscribe to your YouTube channel, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I sub just now. Zeradox says, I hope you're having the best life, Yogi. I am having the best life. I'm giving that some thought. You know, people might say, I don't know, if you ask someone the best life, and someone might say the absence of suffering, which is impossible because it's life. Let me take that back, because obviously the yogic path and the Buddhist path are means of getting out of suffering, but the suffering they're talking about is the psychological suffering that is attached to the sorrows of life. That things happen, but that's not necessarily suffering. Suffering is when something happens and we push it away. We refuse to accept it. Or something good happens and we cling to it. And we live in fear that something's going to happen, which means we miss the entire experience of what's happening, of the experience itself. Let's see. Laradox says, I forgot. How are you about abortion, Yogi? I think it's baby murder. I don't talk about abortion because I don't have an abortion. Because it's not open to my opinion. My opinion would only cause my opinion one way or the other would only cause suffering to another person. So who am I to give that opinion on something that I'm never ever going to have to endure one way or the other? I'm never going to have to make that life-changing, life-altering decision. I have known people who have deciding in both ways, and both of them were agonizing decisions. So my opinion just adds to that the misery that they're already going through. Now, if someone else has an opinion, here's the thing. I also don't have an opinion about other people's opinions. Because, honestly, why should I? Why should my opinion about someone else's opinion matter to me and matter to them? So on issues like that, on a lot of the social issues, I stay silent. I offer full support to the people who are in that agonizing position of having to make a choice. And I leave it at that, for the most part. Laradox says, but I respect your position. When I say everything that I just said, I'm not saying it as a means of saying, and you should be this way too. No one needs to be anything like me. Thank God for that, right? Laradox says, Yogi, I gained a sub. It's working. Can you tell everyone to press my blue wrench again and subscribe to my YouTube channel? I sure can. Guys, our friend Laradox has a goal. And he has a great channel. So if you get the opportunity, if you pop in, if you're here and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. As well, we got some great people here, and a lot of them have blue wrenches. So hit the blue wrench for our friend Duncan Walsh, for our friend Eric LaPointe, for our friend Nightwatcher. Nightwatcher has never really talked about subscribers. I don't know if he's much interested. Nightwatcher, you've never talked much about your channel. I visited when you told me the drawing of your grandfather. Nightwatcher says, next year, 225, you'll officially become an elder, Yogi. An elder Yogi. I like that. Because the next generation is Gen Beta. Generation Beta will be born from 2025 to 2039. Interesting. Well, Nightwatcher, I have a different definition of an elder. For me, an elder is a position earned of respect, that you've gained a certain amount of insight and wisdom. You have some spiritual heft to you. You put in the work of living a purposeful, compassionate, empathetic, loving life. And through that work, you've gained that position of being an elder. So, and I don't think you can claim it. So I don't think I can ever claim to be an elder. But I hope that maybe by living my life in that way, by living a life steeped in love, and being unconditional about it, then maybe someone might bestow me the title of being an elder. We'll see. It would be nice to graduate from being a punk when I was a kid to being an elder when I'm older. That was good information, Night Watcher. Thank you. Charlie says I'm back. Internet was down for a bit. Welcome back, Charlie. Charlie, you subscribe to our friend Laradox. Laradox is working hard. If you click the blue wrench, Night Watcher says thanks. Laradox says deep conservative and a Christian. Yep, you actually, one of the first things you said when you came in was that you were conservative and a Christian. And man, I really do my best to not make anyone right and not make anyone wrong. Things are as they are. And who am I to talk someone out? Life has a tendency to help us change our positions one way or the other sometimes. That just through the process of growing and opening, experiencing different people, different cultures, different viewpoints, the process of life should break us open. That we should be allowed, we should find ourselves holding more and more and more and refusing less and less and less. Charlie said same, and he said welcome back. So I said thank you. Awesome. Laradox says, as Yogi said, you are your own person. You shouldn't categorize yourself. Some wise words from Night Watcher, of course. Laradox says, oh, above, make sure to subscribe to everyone else. Forget about me, make sure to subscribe to everyone else, guys. Very nice of you. Laradox says, Yogi, I wish you could become a Christian. Well, you know, again, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school, baptized, confirmed, and I am a follower of what I consider to be the original teachings of Jesus, but I don't hold to social commentary. My spiritual and religious beliefs don't shape my social views. My social views are based on kindness. My social views are based upon my spiritual practices, that I'm open to all people. It's just like Laradox, when you came in, and one of the very first things you said was that I believe it was Jesus loves me, which I appreciate, and that you're a conservative. Had I shut that down, you and I wouldn't be friends. So, you know, we've talked before about a lot of the social issues that simply aren't mentioned in the teachings of Jesus. If you go to Sermon of the Mount, a lot of the issues just aren't there. So I'd rather go straight to the source, straight to Jesus, straight to the actual words. Many biblical historians have said that if every part of the Bible was destroyed except for the Sermon of the Mount, that alone would be enough to base an entire religion of Christianity. And Laradak says, I'm begging you to buy a Bible. You would be surprised how many Bibles I have in my house. I have Bibles that belong to my grandparents. Um, I have Bibles that were given to me as presents. I have a crucifix hanging and a cross hanging on my doorknob over there. But I also have my set of mala beads, japa beads, for chanting and meditation. Being a Christian doesn't mean that you have to be exclusive to just one set of practice or even one set of views. Um, when you think that only Christianity is valid, you're limiting God. You're putting your views on the infinite. You're putting, and again, I'm not making anyone wrong, um, because the path of Jesus is a beautiful, beautiful path. And if everyone followed it, at this moment we would have peace in the world. However, if everyone followed the path of Krishna, if everyone practiced Buddhism, we would have the same results. We would still have peace in the earth. The very first step on the yogic lifestyle is ahimsa, which is practicing non-harm. Imagine if everyone practiced the original teachings of yoga, meaning they were incapable of causing harm. Dr. Martin Luther King, great civil rights leader, I mentioned him earlier, he practiced ahimsa. He was inspired by Gandhi. And I know our friend Nightwatcher is going to correct how I pronounce Gandhi, which is okay. So yeah, I definitely don't have any need for a Bible. Well, I don't want to say I have any need. I don't have any need of buying a Bible, as I have several. My mom was a very religious woman. My father, not so much. Well, not a religious person. His father was a Quaker. His father was a Quaker. His mother was a Methodist. I'm going to take my pill. It is a herbal supplement to help me sleep later in about an hour or so. Let's see. But now, having said all that, Paradox, I appreciate everything that you said. And I appreciate that you want the best for me and that you have those convictions and that your convictions are based on faith and love. And for me, that's a really awesome thing. Night Watcher says, I never really want subs or trying to make a channel. I'll maybe make videos when I'm older. I only posted some community posts because Stuart Gallagher from Nobles Live wanted to see my art. Nice. Yeah, Stuart pops by every once in a while. It's been a bit. Night Watcher says, Paradox, you're a conservative Christian and I'm a lax Muslim. And you guys get along great. Paradox says, I'm live right now. Please tell everyone to join Yogi. I think you did a really good job with that. But I'll repeat it. Laradox is live. And as mentioned, there's room enough for all of us on the internet. I have no issue at all. People coming by and checking out someone else's live stream. People come and go. That's the way it should be. Here's the secret to life, guys. Don't cling to experiences. Don't cling to viewers. Don't cling to subscribers. Don't cling to people in your live stream because it's all in flux. Everything changes. That's the secret to Buddhism. Life is change. Transient. And when you cling to the transient, you're going to suffer. If you want to avoid suffering, doesn't mean you're not going to experience sorrow or unhappiness. Just means that you're going to recognize that everything is transient. That some people are going to go visit Laradox's live stream or our friend UK Medic who is up and running. And that's the way it should be. Laradox has a good channel, a fun channel, and deserves all the viewers. Nightwatcher says, I remember clearly the first message Laradox said, and that was that he was conservative. Chat logs agree with me. I knew he said that he was conservative. Well, here's a couple things that surprised me. One, I didn't know there was chat logs. Interesting. And that means I better be careful. And two, yeah, I remember him saying he was conservative and that he was Christian and conservative, which isn't a bad way to introduce yourself. Zaradox is asking people to join his live stream. And as predicted, it's Gandhi. Gandhi. Yep, I can't help the way I say things though, Nightwatcher. I've spent all my energy on learning to properly say Bangladesh the best that I can for you, as well as Myanmar for our friend Flower. Theradox says, I love Martin Luther King. James, because he was against racism and racism sucks. I agree 100%. It's phonetics. Gandhi. It's only going to come out a certain way. Join my live stream happening now. Well, I might pop in before I go to sleep, but I got it probably, I don't know. I might stay on for another half hour here. But I will certainly let people know that you are live. Nightwatcher says, what can I say? I'm a committed man. You know what, Nightwatcher? I know you want to be an artist. Have you ever thought about being an art teacher as well? Because I think you'd make a very good teacher. It's good to be committed to helping people learn. Unfortunately, your commitment is with an old guy. And our old guy, speaking as an old guy, as an older guy, I don't want to say we're slow to change. I've changed quite a bit through the years. Nightwatcher says, mods have the power of chat logs. And Nightwatcher says, you've basically mastered, watch me mess it up though, Bangladesh. You know what the secret was for me? Pausing. Not just saying it, but giving it a pause and then sounding it out. Nightwatcher is laughing his ass off. So you guys get access to the chat log because you're moderators, but me not being a moderator, but having the authority to make moderators and take away moderators, I don't have the ability to check out a chat log. Somehow that seems really unfair, which is okay. I can't imagine I'd have any need. I got a fairly good memory for stuff like that. I knew that Laradox introduced himself as a Christian and a conservative. Generally speaking, in the United States, if you say that you're not 100%, of course, if you say that you're a Christian, the next thing that's going to follow is I'm a conservative, and 100%, probably, if anything's 100%. If you say that you're a conservative, 99% chance you're going to follow it up with I'm a Christian, if you even need to say that. Nightwatcher says, I'm committed to an old guy. It took me off guard. Yeah, every once in a while, you know, things like that come right out. Nightwatcher, you say that you're a lax Muslim. Is your family devout and you're lax, or is your whole family lax? I'm glad you live in a country where you can afford to be lax. No one should ever be forced to have a belief. You should. Oh, I got my own opinion on beliefs, um, and I hold that lightly as well. But everyone should be free to come to a faith completely on their own from the teachings themselves. Um, they can be presented. I don't. I think a child. I think it's perfectly okay for a child to be raised within a faith, but at a certain point, they should then be presented with an education that is all inclusive, and then say, you can have the faith that you were raised in, you can have any of these other faiths, or you don't need one at all if you don't want one. What we want to do is raise a child that is free, liberated. And if you're truly liberated, then you're beyond all faiths and able to hold all of them. Night Watcher says he started giggling his ass off. Well, hey, if that's the only thing that occurred in the entire conversation that we had tonight, that alone would be worthwhile. Because getting a good laugh, everyone should have one good laugh a day, if not more. I spend my entire morning walk, not my first one, my second one, with Mocha and Misty. I spend the entire walk doing my best to make Mocha laugh. And Mocha does her best to not give me the satisfaction of seeing her laugh, although I know inside she's cracking up, because how could she not? Anyway, that's what I like to tell myself. Night Watcher says family is pretty conservative. I just don't believe in some social constructs. You and me both. Night Watcher says, like, planned marriages and arranged marriages are whack, and with no love, nobody would be happy. I've actually heard, though, that they have a pretty high success rate. Of course, I don't know what we view on success, how we view success in something like that. And I agree with you, Night Watcher, that without love, there's no happiness. But I also, think that we need to have a clearer look on what we consider to be love. That our love is always based upon conditions. That I will love you as long as, one, you love and cherish me. I will love you as long as you stay absolutely the same. I will love you as long as you change with me. I will love you as long, and the list just keeps going. That's not love. That is basically, what can you do for me? And if those conditions are met, maybe I can do something for you. Providing the same, it's being of service for another. True love is always and can only be unconditional. And if our friend Laradox was still here, I would be tempted to pull up St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians and read that, because it's such a beautiful description of what love is. It rings as true, if not more so, as anything that's actually written in the Bible. Night Watcher says, yeah, there's a high success rate because family infighting is low, but domestic abuse is high. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, I'm just looking, and Laradox is 403. So coming here paid off. Gained a subscriber. I'm happy for him. We're going to see if anyone else is live. Duncan Wash says, so your back is more twingy today? Yeah, it's actually beyond twingy. Uh, it's more pain than it's been in about a month. I was so tempted the last 3 weeks to say um, that I was pretty much mended. Every once in a while, I'd feel, the twinge to remind me that I wasn't 100%, but I just felt like I was almost there and getting more so each day. Um, I don't know. My yoga routine has been quite extensive again, and that's only been helping. But I did add two things in that might have helped tweak it. And then again, man, I'm embarrassed to say, putting my shoe on, uh, I just felt that there was a big twinge, a big, less of a spasm and more of an actual like ping. Uh, Duncan says, have you tried the finger knuckles and the glutes to feel for the painful bruise feeling? I have. My glutes actually feel pretty good. I'm not bragging. Um, if Mocha was here, I think she'd agree. Um, no real pain in the glutes. I'm fairly careful. If I feel any problems in the hamstring and in the glute area, I immediately spend some extra time foam rolling. Night Watcher says, thankfully my dad has a moral code and has never hit my mother. I'm glad to hear that. But I know some of my uncles on my dad's side hit their wives. And my uncle on my mom's side uh, hits his wife too. So yeah, arranged marriage is bad. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Night Watcher. No one should have to experience that. And I'm glad that your father has that moral code. I know um, I know that there is some issues between you and your dad as well. You've mentioned, which I'm sorry to hear. Duncan says those pockets of stiffness in the glutes can really pull on the pelvis and affect the back. I've had several friends who have offered massage services, and Mocha herself is a massage therapist. Um, so I'm considering. Night Watcher says, Gluteus Maximus, what are you guys talking about? Um, I have a hurt back. It's been bothering me for several months. Duncan says, just because it's an arranged marriage would not justify hitting them. Would you not agree? I'm almost certain he would. I think Night Watcher's point was one of the things we were talking about social norms. Um, not so much social norms as I forget the expression that he had used. Conventions. Um, and him, one of the ones he doesn't agree with is that. And I had mentioned that I had read that they're viewed to be fairly successful, and Night Watcher explained how that success is viewed. Very nicely explained. Very clearly. And Night Watcher does agree. Constructs. Thank you. Have you guys checked out the live stream yet from Lairdox? You gotta root. You gotta root for someone who really wants to work hard on their YouTube channel, make it successful. I'm just looking to see. I actually don't see him live. And I'm looking to see if any of our other friends are live. So hopefully the next few days of one of the things I noticed as my back was getting better, that the few setbacks that I would have lasted shorter period of time, less intense. I seem to go back to that set point quicker and easier. So the next few days will let me know if I'm like back to having a hurt back. Tomorrow is supposed to be an interval session. I'm still gonna do it, but I might only do it for 22 minutes. And not yet decided if I'm gonna do straight Navy SEALs or alternate, like we were talking about. Duncan says, well, let's see. Let me catch up here. Night Watcher says, I try to be as good as possible because years of bullying has taught me that people pleasing is the best way to success. I'm not so sure. My thoughts are be as nice as possible because you're nice. But you know what? I think we all have the means of coping through our life the best that we can. So for now, if your way is helping you navigate some difficulty, because I know you have a difficult home life, if it's working for you, it's not for me to urge things to be different. Duncan says, Eric, I haven't really gone live before. Do you just click live and it records and posts automatically for you? Yep, you click live, and then you have the option of if you want to set a time. And if you can set the date, you can set the time, so you can do it in advance. And it'll all come up on a menu after you click live. And then it'll ask if you want to restrict it. Mine is supposed to be restricted to people 18 and above. And I actually have really good friends who show up every day who are 18 and below. So that rule didn't really work. And I'm glad it did. And then you just keep clicking the things that it asks you. You know, do you want age restriction? Do you go down the list and then you hit live and it gives you that option. Do you want to go live now? And you click it and you're good. Man, I'd love to see you go live. Either just for a talk or for a workout or for a workout and a talk. Squirrel Sniper is here. Greeting beautiful souls from across the pond and under the same skies. Squirrel Sniper, how are you? Duncan says, you mean you were on the receiving end of bullying, Night Watcher? Yep, still is, from what he has told us here. Duncan says, sorry, are you male or female, Night Watcher? Night Watcher says, it's okay, I have obtained the mystical skill called apathy. Duncan is asking who's doing the bullying. And the answer is some random kids who picked on me because I was failing school. Still failing school. Which you mentioned before, and I'm sorry to hear. Especially because you're such a bright person. But I understand that. I did not do so well in school myself. Until college, when everything changed. Duncan says, wise words, by the way, no such thing as failing, it's just feedback. I agree. Squirrel Sniper says, more research on parasites, Eric. Fascinating subject. Yeah, fascinating. A little scary, too. Always afraid of those little things that can invade the body. Little parasympathetic things. My phone never rings. Duncan says, what are you studying, Night Watcher? Night Watcher says, I do have outbursts once in a while. I cry like a baby or act violent. Squirrel Semper says, leave the schooling for the fish. I haven't heard that expression before. Add the SEM that swim in schools, all in the same direction and all in the same speed. Like learning as fast as the slowest. Interesting. I would have to say that I agree. And at the same time, I know when you're still at the age where you're living with your parents, you have to follow their rules. But I think there's ways to navigate through that. As Squirrel Sniper says, educate yourself. It's all at one's fingertips. It's all at our fingertips. I can't remember the name of the author. Wonderful book. Who is actually James something. I might look it up. He was actually a student of Swami Muktananda, who was a great spiritual teacher. Passed away in the early 90s, I believe, or maybe the late 80s. And he had a best-selling book in the 70s, Finite Games and Infinite Games. How we navigate through life. We play the finite games. A finite game is school, family, jobs. The rule of a finite game is to have a winner, certainly not to lose. And we do the best that we can. But we have to realize that every finite game is played within a infinite game. And the infinite game doesn't have any winners. It doesn't have any losers. It's continuous education, as Squirrel Sniper had pointed out. It's educating ourselves. It's allowing life to show us its secrets, show us its mysteries. So we never lose sight of the fact that we're playing an infinite game that has much, much smaller finite games. And when you know that you're playing in that larger realm, all those little finite games become easier. Because one, you know they're finite. Two, you know they're just a game. We get a thumbs up from Eric LaPointe. Appreciate you being here, Eric. Night Watcher says the problem is I don't have any bit of attention. If I tried to educate myself, I would quit in 3 weeks. I might argue that, because what happens when you're drawing, Night Watcher? You have obvious skill. You never acquire skill without attention. You just can't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to draw at all. You might have selective attention. And if you have selected attention, then that means that you can learn to have attention about anything. You also learn that you're always aware. You're never not aware. You can't, because awareness is who you are. You're aware of your thoughts, you're aware of your body, you're aware of your mind, you're aware of the world. Not separate from it, but aware. And through awareness, you can gain attention. It's just a matter of having interest. I was much the same. I had no interest in virtually everything in school. A few things. History. Duncan says, is the language English or another language, Night Watcher? Night Watcher says ADHD is not a good perk to have. I think that can be redefined. In a hunter-gatherer society, many people, many scientists believe that those with ADHD developed it to be better hunter-gatherers, more alert. That if you only pinpointed focus on one thing, you're going to miss everything that's going on around you. So find a way to use ADHD to help you, to aid you. And there is a way. Night Watcher says Bengali and English both. His English writing is much, much better than mine, that's for sure. Squirrel Sniper says, squirrels have a syllabus. There you have it. Squirrels, Night Watcher says, when I draw, my brain just shuts down through attention. And I scribble, but I just copy techniques of drawing I know. Which, in my opinion, is genius. Sam says, what is this stream about? And Eric Lapointe gives an excellent answer. Anything, Sam. Absolutely anything. Anything you want to throw out there, Sam? The only thing I ever ask, be kind, be considerate, be friendly. That's it. That sums it all up. I talk a lot about yoga, nature, meditation stuff. As our friend Night Watcher says, it's about life, advice, yoga, meditation, and friendship. I agree 100%. That's perfectly said, Night Watcher. And a great answer from Squirrel Sniper. Sam, greetings. The stream is about all. Our friend Holgo is here. Hey, Holgo put up some more great art today. I had the opportunity to spend some time there. The thing I like about shorts, I can leave it up, and it just keeps playing and playing and playing. Duncan says you should try burpees, Night Watcher. See if you can do 100 and count every one of them. You're practicing your focus doing them and getting fit at the same time. Win-win. Unsurprisingly, I agree with Duncan. I mentioned before, the art of meditation isn't not getting distracted. It's not about clearing your mind of thoughts or staying one-pointed on the object of your meditation. The art of meditation is returning to that focus. So if you're using the breath, which is the simplest form of meditation, you follow the breath. In Zen, they'll have you count to 10. Breathing in, 1. And you can start with in and out each being 1, 2. So breathing in, 1, breathing out, 2. Breathing in. When you get up to 10, start over again. And then when you feel a little more comfortable, just count the out breath. Breathing in, out, 1. Work your way up to 10. You're going to find in an instant you have thoughts. You get distracted. You forget that you're counting. Who cares? No one else is privy to your mind. No one is there judging. No one says you messed up. You just start over again. So not only are you learning focus, calming the mind, learning to view the thoughts, that you're not the thinker, you're the awareness of the thoughts themselves. At the same time, you're developing non-judgment, forgiveness, and love towards yourself. As the mind wanders, what's the sense in getting mad? Who are you getting mad at? So you just come back and you start counting again. And you repeat. There's no, as Duncan said, there's no failure. There's just results. Night Watcher says, how are you, Sir Holgo? He says he's good. Glad to hear that. Man, you've been on a creative streak, and I love being able to see it all. Night Watcher says, hell no. Hell nah, actually. I ain't doing nothing related to workout. My fat ass gets tired just running 2 kilometers. The thing is, you start where you start. Sam says, sounds nice. I enjoy all forms of dimension and flexibility in mental and neurological limits. That's awesome, Sam. Flexibility. Flexibility of mind. Flexibility with our thoughts and our opinions and our beliefs. It's so key to a peaceful world. Imagine if everyone had that flexibility, where if someone said, I'm this or I'm that, and we didn't have to get offended because we're not this or we're not that, that we have this automatic response of being offended because someone has a different opinion, not realizing it's just an opinion, even ours, that we cherish and hold so strongly, cling to. It's just a collection of thoughts that we've had over and over and over again, just like the collection of thoughts in someone else's head that are different than yours, that are going over and over again. 2 people fighting about their thoughts. Not just 2 people, 2 countries. That Watcher says, I'm good, Holgo, just doing a bit of trauma dumping. Hey, man, that's one of the reasons why we're here. Eric Point says, interesting, Sam. Yeah, it is. Holgo says, what's a kilometer? Kilometer. Man, you guys are going to get me repeating words until they make no sense to me whatsoever. Holgo says, what? I'm an American. Oh, a kilometer is 2.2. Right? 1 kilometer equals, no. 1 kilometer, that's that's with weight. A kilometer is 0.62, something, something, something. So that's why a 5K equals just over 3 miles. The only way I can translate any kind of metric is through weightlifting or running. I know a 5K is a little over 3. I know a 10K is a little over 6. I know a 50K is a little over 31. 100K is a little over 62. It's 1,000 clicks, says Squirrel Sniper. Duncan says, Night Watcher, Eric and I have over 110 years of experience, and we know the benefits of exercise. This is true. If you lose weight, gain muscle, health and fitness, mental and physically, the bullies think again. Absolutely true as well. And as with Duncan's original point, you gain, it's not just physical. There's no such thing as just physical. There's no such thing as mind and body. There's just mind body. So Duncan's first point was the focus that you gain and the clarity. And when you're in shape, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in Duncan Walsh shape. Few people in the world are in Duncan Walsh shape. You don't even need to be in my shape. Not that I'm in any, super fitness level. You just need to be comfortable in your body, at ease within your body, enjoying your body, enjoying how it moves. That's the benefit of being in shape, is just enjoying how you feel and how you move, how you navigate through life. And when you have that ease and confidence of navigating through your life, Duncan's right. Bullies have, will think again. Night Watcher says, bruh, at 15, I don't even think I'm allowed into the gym. No need for a gym. You need the floor, burpees, everything you need. Burpees, squats, push-ups. Hey, Night Watcher, are you subscribed to Duncan? He has follow-along workouts. As Duncan says, you don't need a gym, man. You can do them in your bedroom. And no one has to know. Duncan, or Squirrel Sniper says, Night Watcher, you don't need a gym to get fit. That's just mainstream. I agree. Obviously, the title of the channel isn't just a yogi in the gym doing bench presses. Just a yogi in the gym doing military presses, doing curls. That might have been a good title, though. Just a yogi in the gym doing curls. That causes me to rethink. I might change my entire channel. Sam says 86 million neurons. I find it quite unusual that this species and specific time in the space-time continuum is so geometrically complete. Geometrically complete. That's interesting. I don't know if I ever considered that. Geometrically complete. That gives me cause to think. I'd be willing to bet our friend Squirrel Sniper has something to offer to that. Let's see. Holger says, hey, Yogi, you said you were on a farm for a while and you rode horses. Just how tall were the horses? I'm going to say, now, I was 15. I was a little bit shorter. Not much, an inch or so. I'm about 5'9" now. Maybe not quite. So maybe I was 5'7". From the feet to the head, they were taller than me. From me to the saddle, to the back, I think maybe my head came up just over the saddle. But remember, 15 and I'm 59 now. So that was quite some time ago. Don't make me do math. So yeah, I'm going to say just slightly head level or so from feet to saddle. Sam says, I can't put it into words. I can completely comprehend on a mental level. I can understand that. But I like Sam. I like comments like that. Um, and Squirrel Sniper offers quite a few of them that sort of stop me in my tracks. And sometimes it's good that it can't be conceptualized, um, because then you don't put your own opinion and thoughts to it. You just open up to what the words are actually saying. Squirrel Sniper says, I was 15, ripped, six pack, but lean, trained swimmer in the England squad in the 80s. Yeah, at 15, I was bodybuilding. I was training for teenage Mr. Baltimore. And I mentioned before how I loved the training. I didn't even mind the diet so much, which is unusual at 15. But I couldn't, at the last minute, I couldn't bring myself to get on stage in posing trunks. Eric LaPointe says, I have to look that up, Sam. Eric, I was thinking the same thing. Just, I kind of want to see, I want to go down the rabbit hole and see where it leads us. But I'll probably save that for tomorrow's discussion. Nightwatcher says, but insects have 300K neurons. Are they smart? They are extremely intelligent, but not for us to measure. Are they smart enough to do calculus? They don't need to. They're intelligent enough to navigate their world and be successful doing it. That's pretty intelligent. They also don't have anxiety. You will never find an insect on a therapist's couch. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You'll never find an insect in need of medication to aid mental health. Again, nothing wrong with that either. So, how we view intelligence, we view intelligence through the lens of being human, and that's our skill. Are you intelligent enough to do this? They don't need to be. We're not intelligent to navigate our world without that sense of anxiety any longer, for many of us. And we couldn't live our lives through the means of an insect any more than they could live their life as a means of a human being. I think when we say life, we could easily say intelligence itself. There's nothing in life that isn't intelligence. Every plant knows how to accept and utilize water, sunlight, knows how to spread its roots. Every tomato seed knows how to produce a tomato given the proper conditions. Duncan says, "Hey, Night Watcher, if you don't want to, then of course you don't have to, my friend, but you could post it." I agree with that too. Just a Night Watcher doing burpees in his bedroom. That would be some pretty serious competition for my channel. I'm not sure I'd like Duncan giving him ideas. It's been hard enough for me to get any subscribers. And now they're all going to be tuning in to Just a Night Watcher doing burpees in his bedroom. That channel could be huge. You know what? I would subscribe. Let's see. Squirrel Sniper says, Night Watcher of batteries and fire, more so. Read the soul of the white ant. I'm going to have to read the soul of the white ant. You could read Kinship with All Life, which was a bestseller in the 1970s and 80s, I believe. I'm not going to say that my feelings aren't a little hurt here when Night Watcher says, Duncan, you, my sir, are ripped, and I'll maybe do burpees, but I won't post anything. Hey, I think it's enough for you to do burpees. If you don't want to post, I'm just happy doing burpees. But here's my point. You and I have been friends for a few months now. You've seen my burpees. I've never got a "hey, you're ripped." You know what? I get comments like, "Poor old burpee, poor old Yogi. He's fallen behind in the conversation." Um, Never once has Night Watcher said, "Hey, Eric, you're looking pretty ripped." That's going to have to change. That means I'm in serious training. I'm going to put in a solid 2-3 months of some serious ab work and challenge Mr. Duncan Walsh to an ab off. But I'll tell you the truthfully, Night Watcher, you're absolutely right. Duncan is ripped. Duncan has a secret ab exercise that he will share with you. You can find it on his channel. I'm gonna write that down. Soul of the white ant. I love great books, great book suggestions. Eric Lapointe says, depending on the bullying, is it physical, which always comes with verbal also, or just verbal? Otherwise, any kickboxing gym will take you. This is true. Martial arts can be a life changer and saver for so many people. Eric Lapointe says, Eric and Squirrel Sniper have me going down a deep hole into fractals. That's a magic word here. Duncan's going to jump in with fractals. Mocha's going to unsubscribe from my channel. She hears enough of it. I was pulling down in our walk today. I was pulling down extra fractals to help her. And she got highly annoyed by that. I don't know if she's here. She didn't come in and say hi, but she might be peeking in. She did not like me rearranging her fractal patterns. Sam, you know it only takes 200 years to go from horse and cat to Hadron Collider. Sam says, I'm scared. Yeah, the conversation has the effect on people. Night Watcher says, what's wrong? Sam says, what if there is nothing and no one to keep anything in check? Who's to say there is? And yet, things have been kept in check. I would say there is nothing and there is no one, and yet things are kept in check. That's the whole essence of the Tao Te Ching as well as the Bhagavad Gita. That there's no door, yet everything gets done. Night Watcher says, oh no, here we go, another Matrix guy. Sam says, that's not it. It's more, in a sense, like a simulation. I know it's real. You had a good topic to have with Squirrel Sniper here. I talked about simulation theory the other night. Quite a few modern philosophers, David Chalmers, his last book was written about that. And quite a few believe that we are. But here's the thing. In the yogic tradition, it's always been an illusion. It's always been Maya, or Lila, God's play. I prefer Lila, God's play, over Maya. But either way, it's a trap of our own making. That's why if people bring, and it often happens, people might bring me a conspiracy theory. What do I think of this? The biggest conspiracy theory is what Krishnamurti would say, the lack of understanding ourselves. Why worry about anything imprisoning us when we're imprisoned by our own minds, by our own aversions, by our own attachments, by our own fear of death, by our own belief that we are a limited personality, that that's all we are. Thoughts, personality. As well as being ignorant of all that. So until we understand the nature of the mind, we're trapped in a matrix, a simulation of our own making. Sam says, I can hope you say it's true. Sam says, what is hope? It's a good question. And you know what? The best questions, you don't get an answer. That's the whole nature of self-inquiry. When we ask, who am I? We never settle on an answer. Who am I? I'm Eric. Not really. That's the name someone gave me. Who am I? A body? Which body? The body when I was 2? The body when I was born? The body that I had when I was a bodybuilder in my teens? When I was a power lifter in my 20s? When I was an ultra runner in my 40s and 50s? The body that I have now, which isn't as ripped as the body that our friend Duncan Walsh has. So I'm obviously not the body. Am I my thoughts? My thoughts are always changing. And there's also some periods where I don't have thoughts. So I can't be my thoughts. How about my personality? My personality has changed quite a bit through the years. As I've gotten older, I've gotten kinder, I've gotten more gentle, I've gotten more empathetic and compassionate, fortunately. But they've been changing, so I can't be limited to that personality. So who am I? You just keep asking, you just keep asking. Then you come to reality, which doesn't have an answer. It just is. In Buddhism, they'd say it's the suchness of the moment. Just a night watcher doing burpees in his bedroom. I don't know. I might have created a monster. I think Duncan Walsh has created a monster. Sam says, are emotions biological? I'd say yes, but not limited so. Not limited to being biological. That whenever we say something is biological, it seems to diminish the spiritualness of it. In function, yes. Sam says I asked questions I can't answer, which is good. That's, to me, that's true intelligence. Squirrel Surfer says, I know I'm in a simulation. And Sam says, what I can hope for is there is no answer. Anthony Robbins, who I mentioned this earlier today, I'm not a huge fan of Anthony Robbins, but one thing he said was, the quality of our life depends upon the quality of our questions, not the quality of our answers. And that's a point that our friend Squirrel Sniper was alluding to. In school, they give you answers. They don't teach you to question. They don't teach you to question everything. And the way out of any simulation, question. If you always believe what you can touch, we would know absolutely nothing about quantum physics. If we only believed things that stay on the ground, we would know absolutely nothing about aerodynamics. Sam says, do I need help? Nope. You just need to keep questioning. When you keep questioning, you realize life is an infinite mystery. And guess what? You get to navigate that infinite mystery. Whatever you are is a navigator, an aware navigator within the mystery of the universe, within the mystery of God, within the mystery of whatever you want to call it. Squirrel Sniper says, Sam, so do I. Congrats. Yep. Sam says, hope is the only thing stronger than fear. Yogi says, have you ever taken your shirt off? I have 600 and almost 50 videos of me doing burpees with my shirt off. It was only some good friends who talked me out of having my channel. Uh, just a half naked burpee, just a half naked Yogi doing burpees in his basement. Um, yep, almost every one of my burpee videos, I don't have a shirt. I got people showing up on those videos begging me to put a shirt on, begging me to put a hat on, just wear some kind of clothes. Um, and yet I keep insisting on doing my burpees half naked. Night Watcher says, I do want to learn Muay Thai. It's a good art form, and it's very, very simple and easy to learn. It's direct. Not a whole lot of forms. Um, the kicks are solid, and they're low, and they're effective. Um, you got not a lot of stuff on the ground, um, but you got head clenches, you got elbows, and you got knees. Squirrel Semper says the soul of the white ant is on free PDF. Thank you, Squirrel Sniper. I appreciate that. And Eric Lapointe says, I have been an athlete my whole life, and I have to admit something. I've never done a burpee. I do something similar, but not a burpee. But we're going to have to fix that. I did them, high school sports, but, we would do a few. It was only during the pandemic, everyone looking for ways of staying fit. For me, it was just wanting something different. And I came across our friend, the Busy Dad. Squirrel Sniper says, Eric Lapointe, the magic in nature is out of this world. It's an observation that still to this day cannot be solved. Definitely a mystery. Eric Lapointe says, soul of the, let's see. Squirrel Sniper says, Eric Lapointe learns something new every day. I know I read things out of order, and that, let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out, and I'm glad it's free. Eric Lapointe makes an excellent point. Sam, you would maybe biology respond to the environment you live in, but environment change. True. Our friend Destiny is here. Destiny, how are you? We're having an awesome conversation. Unfortunately, it's going to come to an end in just a few minutes. I've actually gone way past my regular time. That's how great of a conversation it's been. Destiny is saying hello to everyone. Destiny, did you get your air condition fixed? Sam says, burpees, what can you mean? It seems so simple, but the recognition with adults is a little to non-existent. It's where you slightly squat down, put your hands on the floor, and sort of leap into the plank position. You do a push-up, and then you leap back up. And our friend, Destiny Forever Walks, PhD, did 116 in 22 minutes just the other day. We got some greetings. Squirrel Sniper's internet is dying. So in just a minute, we're going to call it a night. This has been a little late for me, but I'm glad I waited, so I got a chance to say hi to Destiny. And Destiny says, the air conditioner is fixed and working greatly. Took several hours, but the job is done. Awesome. It's got to be hot. I know it was 93, you said. Hot and humid in Alabama. Nemetics, am I saying that right? I know it's a silent P. are something I'm familiar with. I love those showbiz animatronic characters, knowing that they were nothing more than lifeless metal controlled by air at the age of 12 is almost good. Interesting. Nightwatcher says, do you think art is something worth paying for? Yes, I do. I think anything that stirs your heart is worth paying for and worth pursuing. There's little more I hold in greater, I don't think I hold anything in greater esteem than an artist or someone, and I view everyone in some way as an artist. If you haven't discovered your medium, your particular medium, as life itself is that great empty template that we get to experiment with. Destiny is asking how Eric Lapointe is. Destiny says it was 97 today. Hot host. Wow. 97. We had a couple days in the 90s so far. But it's going to be cooler and back to rain. We've had a lot of rain. Squirrel Surfer says we can change the environment by just removing to the predator. It happened in Canada with the wolves. It did. Also in several of the parks here in the U.S. The knock on was more deer, more smaller grass eaters, less grass, no deer, no wolves. Same with introducing beavers. Drastically altered the landscape for the better. We remove species at our own peril. Sam says hello. Nightwatcher says Alabama incest. That is a misconception. It's actually also could be taken somewhat as a, for those who live in Alabama, as a slur, Nightwatcher. Destiny says, hashtag, just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. Possibly the single longest YouTube title on any channel. Maybe. Sam says, I make art. Space is a specific piece for me. Knowing the destruction is really existential for me. Quantum levels, like black holes, are almost conferring for me. Well, Squirrel Sniper says, smash the like button. Thank you for that, my friend. Nightwatcher says, thankfully, Bangladesh rainy season has come, and the heat wave is gone from 41 degrees to 24. Yep, Flower said something similar. She was glad the rainy season is here. Destiny says, got you on the, let's see, got you on the, this one's stumping me, but I think it might be more my eyesight. I think you got me on that one, Destiny. Got me on the, I lost it. I keep looking at it. Let's see. Got you on that one, Eric. I looked on the bigger screen. Nightwatcher says, oops, sorry. Hey, that's okay. I appreciate the apology. A lot of people don't know that, because they hear those jokes in the United States. but the jokes have their basis in not understanding where people come from. Because our friend Destiny lives in Alabama, and there is no finer person in the entire world than our friend Destiny. Squirrel Silver says, Sam, I haven't been to space. In fact, the only space is the distance between you and me. I like to think of it as all spaciousness. Of course, we're all in space. There's no way that we can't be. And of course, we can all of us realize our own inherent spaciousness simply by pointing and looking in the right direction. We'll maybe talk about that on another evening. Nightwatcher says, got you on that one, Eric? Yeah, definitely did. Squirrel Samper says, have you caressed that like button? Don't make me come find you and do it for you. I appreciate that. Sometimes you got to resort to threats, you know? Sam says, you don't make me feel sad, though. Oh, I missed that first part. Sadness is very mellowing and almost melancholy. I agree. Destiny says, yes, I threw your channel name in the hashtag, see if you would catch it. Let's see. I'm bringing things up on the big screen. Yogi, can you figure this out? I'm going to say a lot of stuff. I did get it. So, Destiny says, yes, our host Eric and I are the best two people in the whole world. Right, Eric? We are. And the great thing is that we are all united as one people. So for Destiny being the best people in the world, for me being the best people in the world, naturally includes the bestness. Officially not a word, but it sums things up so perfectly. It includes the bestness of each and every one of you. Eric Lapointe, bringing us down the rabbit hole. So fractals. Sam says, I feel very lonely. My neurological disorder is non-existent for me. My neurological limitations have been pushed. Well, I'm sorry you feel lonely. There's sort of a way to reframe that. When you're lonely, we always think of alone. And all of us are alone because we are all, there's just one thing. There's just life in varying displays of lifeness. There's just aloneness. No one is alone. There's just alone. One thing, one source, one love, one universe, but infinitely displayed. So we get the best of everything. We get the aloneness of our connection, knowing that we're all beyond intimately connected, but literally one being, beingness itself. And we also get an entire universe of display, an entire universe of infinite differences that we get to explore. We have a non-dual reality told in the language of duality that we get to play in. Squirrel Stepper says, good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night until tomorrow. I'm going to say good night too, my friend. I swallow cum. I don't know what that is. Destiny says, what? That sums it up. Squirrel Sniper says, fractals. It's just as mathematical. It's one that helps every man to see the same world differently. Nice. I like that explanation. Night Watcher says, we do a little bit of trolling. Sam says, battery acid sings my brain as I try to comprehend my signals. What if you just rested and allowed yourself to be? I don't know if that's the answer, but what if it is an answer? What if it's just something that brings us great rest? Something that brings us great relaxation? Sam says the brain is complex. That's why I don't mess with it. I think it's enough just to be aware. Let the brain do the brain's job. Realize you're not the brain. The brain is an organ. Sam says it almost is all. I'm going to skip that comment from Night Watcher. Not censoring, but it just, I don't know if it bears repeating. And I think I'm definitely getting tired. This is a late night for me. I'm almost 2 hours. I think this is my longest live stream. So, Night Watcher says, I just duped you. It happens. I've been duped before. I'll be duped again. It makes little difference to me, guys. I just carry on. I do my stuff. I come here, I talk. I make some friends. And that's it. And hopefully, Sam, hopefully you are a new friend. I hope you come in and join us again. I definitely got to say goodnight. I'm really glad I hung in there for a bit longer and got a chance to say hi and goodnight to our good friend Destiny Forever Walks PhD, aka hashtag the Burpee Queen. And Night Watcher, as always, you've been a big help and a great company this evening. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to those burpees. You don't have to put them on camera, but let me know how they work. Even if you don't think that I'm as ripped as our friend Duncan Walsh, Fitness Motivation, he truly is ripped. And it's a perfect title for Duncan's channel, Fitness Motivation, because he offers both. Odom says, good night, was listening, working in the garden. Odom, man, I'm looking forward to hearing from you on how the garden is looking, what's salvageable, because I know if anyone can save what can be saved, you're the man to do it. And again, thank you, Sam, Eric Lapointe, bringing us down the fractal hole. That's why it's important for me to say goodnight. Because, man, you get me talking about fractals. The only thing that gets me talking more, fractals and bears. Fractals and bears. Sam says, you helped me in many ways, in my ways. Well, I'm definitely happy to hear that. You may have saved in my life all. Hey, we're here for you. Anytime. I'm live twice a day, every day. I don't take days off. Many say that I should take a day off or a week off. But hey, I keep at it. Night Watcher says, hey, Sniper. Squirrel Sniper says, Night Watcher, Ethan Rickworld. Funny. So, again, I'm saying good night. Good night, Holgo. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Laradox, I hope your live session went well. Sorry I didn't get a chance to stop by. I did look for it. And am I missing anyone? I think I got everyone. It's a fun time. So, a big thank you to all who stopped by. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be doing some burpees in the basement. Dusty says, Odom Homestead, nothing is dead and nothing will die. Stay positive and true to your dream. I agree with Destiny. Beautiful words to close the conversation down. One last thing. Our prayers, our thoughts, healing attention to Odom's homestead and his garden. Take care, my friend. And you guys have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Much appreciated.